Naruto and Avatar: The Last Airbender are two series that are extremely similar, from their power system down to their main cast. So let's engage OG Naruto in terms of power, for the sake of relevance, and later we will see how they do against Naruto Shippuden. Unfortunately, there's no correct way to do this, as Kakashi is out of place no matter how we match them, as well as Katara and Sakura. See, because OG Sakura and Katara are very similar in character and abilities, being the healer of the group, but later in Shippuden, Sakura is more of a fighter and reminds me of Toph. But nevertheless, the matchups for OG Team 7 vs Team Aang will include Naruto vs Aang, Sasuke vs Zuko, Sakura vs Katara, and Kakashi vs Toph. Sakura gotta set this one out, he's just too butt.
Oh, come on, man.
Likewise, the same for Shippuden, but this time we will use prime versions of Team Avatar. Given we don't know their full extent of primes because it takes place off camera, but simply a giant upscale from their childhood counterparts. Naruto vs Adult Aang, Sasuke vs Prime Zuko, Sakura vs Prime Toph, and Kakashi vs Prime Katara. The only rule to this is the ban of Genjutsu, as Team Avatar doesn't have any negation to this. With the exception of Aang, who's going against Naruto. Things such as Susanoo, Amaterasu, and Kamui however will be available, since we shouldn't take all of the side of Naruto's abilities away. Enough stalling, let's begin the scale.
So to start off with Team 7's overall scaling, we will start off with the feat of Kid Naruto blocking Orochimaru's giant boa summon to save Sasuke. Given with the boa's size and the speed coming at Sasuke, Naruto will be blocking the force of small town power. Naruto's final fight with Sasuke would upscale from most feats from other characters such as Gaara's Sand Tsunami he used against Kimimaro, which is count to be town level, and Jirobo's feat of throwing a gigantified Choji, which is also count to be town level. Naruto and Sasuke at the end of part 1 would upscale from all the feats I said prior. Kakashi being the strongest in Team 7 would upscale from both Naruto and Sasuke. He doesn't have many feats to go off in part 1 other than his fight with Zabuza and his stamina being the strongest shinobi in the league, which is most likely retconned. Kakashi would not scale to any of the Akatsuki members at this point because he was literally shown to get full trolled by Itachi in his introduction. His endurance to withstand 3 days of torture isn't something to be scoffed at though, and this speed should also upscale from Naruto and Sasuke, since Kakashi was the one to create the Raikiri and had the speed to cut a lightning bolt as a child, so he'd at least be well over massively hypersonic speeds. As for Naruto's speed, to start off he was shown to Perception plus 2 thugs from the land of Waves arc. The calc for this feat was shown to be Mach 1. We also have a weaker Curse Smart Sasuke dodging a literal sound based attack. Sasuke later was able to outspeed Gaara's autonomous Sand Shield in the Chunin exams, which Rock Lee couldn't have done even at full speed. Gaara's Sand Shield even as a child was able to defend him from paper bomb explosions. Gaara blocking this explosion would be calculated to be around Mach 29. Gaara being older would most likely have faster automatic defenses with his sand, and Sasuke would then upscale from this. And as for combat speed, Naruto and Sasuke should be much faster than Tamari's fan movements, which are calculated to be Mach 24. And this can be scaled higher with his Chidori being compared to Kakashi's Raikiri, which was said to be able to cut lightning in half, meaning Naruto and Sasuke should scale to this lightning timer combat speed by the end of part 1. One more thing to mention is the Haku light speed stuff. I won't be using this because Naruto nor Sasuke did not scale to her at all. Both of them were constantly shown to get blitzed by Haku and even shows them moving in slow motion in Haku's perspective. And by the time Sasuke was perceiving Haku, he was already running out of chakra. Overall, by the time Naruto and Sasuke reached the final valley fight, they should scale way higher than the past feats I mentioned, which would put them around those Mach 30 to 50 speeds at a bare minimum. And with their amps like the Curse Smite, which is stated to be a 10 times amp, and Naruto's Cubic Cloak being relative to this, they can scale to around Mach 300 or 500 even higher with this. I would mention Sakura as well, but she is mostly featless in part 1. Other than the fight with Zaku, which I don't think would scale her anywhere near Naruto or Sasuke. As for Team 7's overall abilities and kit, Naruto's regeneration being able to heal vital organs at a rapid pace. Naruto obviously being the owner of the Rasengan and Shadow Clone Jutsu, which he can make hundreds to thousands of clones of himself. He has access to summoning such as Gamma Bunta, who is able to temporarily keep up with Shikaku, and has limited access to Kurama, being able to use the Tail Cloak. As for Sasuke, he has the Sharingan, which amplifies his reaction speed, and has some form of precog. He has access to the Chidori, which is able to match the Rasengan in power. He is a fire style user, and his flames are even stated to quote-unquote vaporize everything. All of his abilities will be heavily amplified by his Curse Mark, essentially being an edgier Sage mode, which amps him by at least 10 times in the second stage. Sakura's main abilities in part 1 being her medical abilities and supposedly being a prodigy when it comes to Genjutsu, which I'm pretty sure was retconned quickly after. She is stated to have the best chakra control, but I don't really know how useful that's going to be for this matchup. Last but not least, Kakashi's kit being known to copy any jutsu he sees, including water, earth, fire, and air type jutsu, and has access to both Rasengan and Chidori, and with his Sharingan he most likely has a faster reaction speed than Naruto and Sasuke.
Starting with Aang, he should be the strongest avatar up until his time, as each avatar gets progressively stronger, as well as gaining the power from all previous avatars. This will include avatars such as Kyoshi and Roku. Kyoshi having a feat ranging anywhere from island to continental, being able to split and push land masses, generating lava in the process, even forming a storm when reappearing. Aang by proxy would be above these feats. Not only that, but Aang would scale above Yanchen, a past avatar shown to move massive clouds. The power to do this requiring large mountain to possibly even island levels. Moving up from this, we have the spirit of Yue and Law. These spirits governing the balance of the world, acting as the moon and oceans themselves. Also articulated as yin and yang. Admiral Zhao then grabs and damages Yue, this resulting in the absence of the moon and crumble of the world's balance. Aang, enraged by this, becomes one with the ocean spirit, representing the ocean's wrath. Yue and Law being direct parallels, representing the moon and ocean themselves, meaning Aang fused with a spirit requiring moon levels of power. This is more backed up with the fact that the avatar can wield vast cosmic energies. Also to remind you, Yang is a pacifist, so take that as you will. The scaling for Aang can also get more wacky, with the chakra gate to all energy in the universe statement, as well as the Buddhism and Hinduism inspiration for the series. Moving on to speed, it's clear characters shoot lightning as well as react, redirect, and even dodge it. Aang having a feat of this directly against Ozai, and while an avatar, his speed would be between massively hypersonic to subrelativistic. Being an avatar, he would have access to every bending nature, being a great adapter and master of the elements. Aang also uses his mastery over air to solidify himself a very agile and quick opponent, being described as Twinkle Toes by Toph. For the rest of Team Aang, I'll just be quick and upscale, and give ranges for their AP. Zuko being somewhat similar to that of Toph, who has a direct town feat, while holding up a giant sinking library, as well as to scale above Combustion Man, who vaporizes a column of water, which also requires town levels of power, making Zuko's range of AP town to small city. Zuko is shown to react and redirect lightning, making his speed massively hypersonic plus. Zuko has the mastery of fire on his side, often attacking the opponent's feet, redirecting their balance, giving him the advantage, granting him incredible offense. Next, Katara. Katara doesn't have a direct feat. Her skills would be on par with Zuko and Toph, while her AP and durability should be a little below. I don't have direct counts, but given she can create large waves and freeze water, the AP for this should range from city block to town levels. As for the speed, she would directly be massively hypersonic, as she dodges lightning from Azula. Katara being heavily gifted in water bending, mastering its craft. She is shown to manipulate and bend water to whatever she desires, generating giant waves and forming icicles to cut and attack, deriving water from things such as clouds and steam, as well as freeze into hardened water when needed, being the best in terms of healing within the verse. And within a full moon, her water bending is increased massively, allowing her to blood bend, ignoring durability, and controlling her opponent. Toph should be the second strongest in terms of raw power, being able to stop a sinking palace requiring town level. Given this, as well as the fact that she would be equal to, if not above the likes of Katara and Zuko, given her ranges of AP from town to small city like Zuko. Her speed should also be equal to theirs, making her massively hypersonic plus. Toph is a generational prodigy. Blind Bandit is the best there is when it comes to earth bending, even going as far as to create her own bending. Metal bending allows her to manipulate and use metal to her will. She would also have mastery over every form of earth, like sand, mud, and metal. While she is blind, this comes into her favor. Augmenting this, she is able to sense and feel vibrations, somewhat acting as precog, attacking the opponent's feet and altering their stance. Being a master of her element, this gives her top-notch defense.
With both sides being scaled, Aang individually was scaled above all of OG Team 7 even with his lowest interpretation. As for the rest of Team Aang being all in the same ballpark as Team 7 with Team Avatar scaling a bit higher in terms of reaction time. As for the fight between Aang and Naruto using base pacifist Aang against base Naruto, Naruto wouldn't activate Karma mode and Aang wouldn't activate his avatar state, as it's not in both of these characters to do so unless needed. But for the fight, let's say they both activate their trump cards. Either way, Aang should outscale, resulting in Team Avatar's first victory. Moving on to the best character in both series, Zuko vs Sasuke. This is also interesting since both their clans share and hold the fire technique proudly. Zuko, however, should win against Sasuke given the interpretation of the scaling provided. The only exception to this is Sasuke's IQ and strategy advantage. Zuko would be attacking Sasuke's footing and stance, forcing Sasuke on the back pedal. Sasuke having access to the Sharingan can counter this, augmenting him with precog, giving him the ability to keep pace with Zuko's slight speed advantage. Sasuke using this to read every attack and stance Zuko takes, allowing Zuko little to no openings. Sasuke boosting his power with the curse mark as well, however Zuko still having the AP advantage, meaning this is a battle of attrition. As far as fire goes, Sasuke has the advantage in this department in terms of raw power. I'm fine with either one of these opponents winning, so there's two possible paths to follow and rely on. If you rely more on AP and speed, then Zuko wins, but if you rely on strats and abilities, then Sasuke wins. Me personally, I lean more towards Zuko given the raw and direct advantage. And for Katara vs Sakura, Katara wins no div, Sakura has no feats, and OG and Katara actually does things. Lastly, the weird matchup of Toph vs Kakashi. Kakashi will of course would scale above Toph and his students, but considering there's no actual possible way to quantify this, it's safe to assume he is slightly above them. Toph's raw power and control over Earth is insane though, using it as armor increasing her durability against Kakashi. Toph reading the footing and vibrations acting as precog to predict Kakashi's moves. Kakashi having the Sharingan and with him cutting lightning bolts as a fucking child, he can bypass this pretty easily. Kakashi does like to use kunais, but Toph is middle bending them shits mid-air like it's the Matrix. Even though both can use Earth techniques, Kakashi can legit just copy anything. It's going to be extremely difficult for Toph to anticipate his attacks considering Kakashi is a ninja, and it's typical that ninjas are extremely agile. This is quickly understood as a massive weakness for Toph shown in her scuffle with Aang. Kakashi being a genius will understand this instantly, gaining the advantage over Toph. With Kakashi's AP and speed advantage paired with his strategies and battle understanding, I don't see him losing the battle. The end result I envision is Kakashi's Chidori going through Toph's rock armor similar to that of Sasuke vs Gaara.
As for their prime forms, everything would just be increased, considering they're significantly stronger than their kid selves, ranging their AP from city to large mountain levels, aside from Aang, which would solidly be in moon to small planet levels of AP with the dual avatar state, also augmenting himself with possible bloodbending and lung attacks, allowing him to suck the air out of his opponents, creating a vacuum, and with energy manipulation augmenting him with power nullification. Apart from their AP, all of Team Avatar in their prime would be massively hypersonic plus to sub-rail.
Now for the scaling of T7 and Shippuden. For all of them, I'm just going to be scaling their peak forms because it's 2024 and I think everyone knows how to scale Naruto. Naruto by the war should already scale above any of the Biju, including the likes of Kurama. Half of Kurama was said to be able to burn the world to ash in the 4th data book. In the introduction to KCM2 it stated that this form has earth-shattering power. This meaning at the lowest work, Naruto should already be planetary in power. I think it should be pretty obvious most top tiers at the end of Shippuden will be well above planetary. With the Ten Tails having chakra comparable to a planet, meaning by proxy Obito and Madara would scale above this since they absorbed the Ten Tails. Also followed by Obito's Stain to destroy the world. The sword Obito used his state to create the world. Madara's Chibaku Tensei was calculated to be multi-continental or small planet at a high end. Madara spreading the Shinju after he completed the Infinite Tsukiyomi was calculated to be large planetary as well. Naruto would then upscale with the 6 paths to fight both Ten Tails Obito and Ten Tails Madara, and later on to fight Kaguya. Kaguya would say she was going to destroy her dimension, which houses a star and moon within it. It's further evident as her dimension has a day and night cycle, which could scale Kaguya between star level or solar system level in power, in which Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi would be relative to in power, since Kakashi was able to fight her in DMS, and Naruto and Sasuke directly beat her. One more thing to mention, I am aware Kaguya's dimension destroying statement can be scaled much higher due to Zetsu referring to her dimension as a time space, which is a 4th dimensional space Kaguya is destroying, which would make her well over universal. But for the sake of the video, I don't want to scale Naruto to infinity and beyond, so we can keep the matchup more entertaining. Speed is pretty easy to scale. All of Team 7 is well above the light speed statements in the Naruto data books. The Umbra is said to be able to move at the speed of light, Daru's water beams at the speed of light, Itachi's water fang is light speed, Sasuke's Kirin is light speed, B and the Raikage able to move at the speed of light, Naruto would then outspeed the Raikage in KCM1, Naruto also blatantly reacts and dodges Madara's light beam in KCM2 right in front of his face. Even his sick and weakened Itachi was able to perceive and react to Kirin's light speed, meaning anyone who is stronger and faster than Itachi would then scale above light speed, such as Obito. Obito would then get stronger and faster with Ten Tails. Ten Tails Obito was shown to blitz Naruto and Sasuke, who are already faster than the KCM1 Naruto moving at FTL speeds. Ten Tails Obito was able to blitz the first 3 Hokage, and KCM Minato was also well above light speed. Obito would then be outclassed by Ten Tails Madara, who is clearly faster and stronger. Naruto and Sasuke would then get the stage to 6 paths and start beating Madara's ass, which would scale their speed even more. Kakashi would cap at pre-Ten Tails Obito's speeds, as Ten Tails Obito would outclass anything his past self has done before. But Kakashi gaining the DMS was upscale him to the moon since he was shown to speed blitz Kaguya, who owns the Ren and Sharingan. So upscaling all of these feats and statements I think is very inconsistent to say they are not light speed. And I believe Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and even Sakura should scale at least around MFTL speeds or higher. Sakura obviously being a little bit more slower. For their abilities, Naruto's kid has actually grown a lot since part 1, being able to learn the Rasen Shuriken, which can pierce through anything at a cellular level. He's mastered all chakra natures and has access to Sage Mode and Kisen, which amplifies his strength by a wide margin. Shadow Clone Jutsu, where he can spam literally thousands of clones, and with 6 paths he's able to access the Chu-Sticking Orbs, which can damage souls and Duraneg. Naruto also being resistant to Duraneg as well, because he was able to literally kick a Chu-Sticking Orb like a fucking soccer ball, and not to mention the Kurama Avatar mode, which he can use Rasen Shuriken Biju bombs, which are legit just nukes being spammed by Naruto. Sasuke as well having a massive kit of abilities, having his classic fire fire style and Chidori, the EMS which can use Amaterasu which can burn anything eternally and burn as hot as the sun. Has access to perfect Susanoo which scales to moderate Susanoo who was shown to cut mountains like literal butter. He has the Tomoe Rinnegan, thus granting him access to Shinra and Jibaku Tensei, gravity manipulation, Genjutsu, and has access to space-time manipulation. Also known as a Menno Tejikara, which he can spawn portals to different dimensions and swap places with people. As for Sakura, she's going to be much more useful here, being probably the best medical ninja ever as well as being the strongest Konoichi. Having access to earth and water style, yin and yang style, and summonings for Katsui which can heal people at a rapid pace. And her strongest ability being her 100 ceilings jutsu, which lets her use her stored up chakra for later usage to fight. Obviously the more chakra she saves into the ceiling, the more stronger she will be when she outputs those chakra reserves. And finally for Kakashi, his kit hasn't changed much at all other than getting the DMS, which gives him access to a perfect Susanoo and giant Kamui shurikens, which sends anything it touches into the Kamui dimension.
As for Prime Team Avatar vs Shippuden Team 7, it should come to no one's surprise that Team 7 is dogging the entire series negative diff. And this isn't to say that Team Avatar is weak, as Aang's prime is easily moon to small planet and higher with wanky and religious interpretations. The rest of the gang is also very strong. As for their battles, is all completely one-sided. Naruto vs Aang is a simple Rasen Shuriken if that. Bloodbending isn't even going to be effective with Kurama, altering it if landed. The scaling for Naruto bare minimum being star, as all of Team 7 contributed against Kaguya. Aang at his highest without wanking his small planet. I hate to say someone one-shots, but that's just how it is. Sasuke vs Zuko is also the same, and it gets even more crazy when talking about things like Amaterasu, Susanoo, and the variety of Rinnegan abilities. Next, Sakura vs Toph. This fight I love to imagine in equal stats. Can't help but to vision Sakura punching every little ability Toph does, with Toph countering it in the process. However, this isn't the result, as Sakura is just going to one-shot whether Toph has earth armor or metal armor. Lastly, Kakashi vs Katara. I mean, what else do I gotta say besides Kamui GG? Even if Katara bloodbends and is giga buffed with full moon, he's just going to Kamui into a different dimension, or BFR her, and God forbid I mention Susanoo. This video is so fresh and new. The great mixing of both verses and to imagine the contrast between teams. If you'd like more videos of Naruto or Avatar, be sure to let us know. If you like the video, like and subscribe, as well as to turn on noties so you never miss our unique versus battles in Power Sky.